What up, y'all? Welcome to another video. This is the third installment of the American Athletic Conference team by team schedule of 2021 preview done by an Audible Soul. That is me. So this week we got Houston. It's the third team in alphabetical order, and so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into their schedule. I don't know. Do you guys like the longer content, like 20 minutes, or would you guys rather have it like 10? So I'm gonna try to do about roughly 10. Try to at least. So week 1, Houston opens up against Texas Tech at a neutral site. I don't think this game is going to be as close as people might imagine. I think Texas Tech is going to have a great year this year, and they're going to beat Houston pretty handedly. And I think Houston's going to still be able to recover later on in the year. Don't get too crazy about it. But I do think that Houston starts off the season 0-1. The second game, Houston goes to Rice, an in-state school. Pretty good rivalry, pretty historic rivalry. But it doesn't matter because Rice is not the team that they used to be in comparison to Houston. So this week, Houston's actually going to get the win away in week 2. And that's going to put Houston at 1-1 overall. Then we go to week 3. Houston's back at home for the first time this year in week 3. And they're actually going to be playing against an HBCU at Grambling State University. Grambling has been doing fairly well in the SWAC these past few years, but I don't think that that's going to matter at all against Houston. I think Houston gets another super easy win and starts off the season 2-1. Then in week 4, Houston opens up conference play, which means that they're going to have a non-conference game later on in the season. This is actually going to be very interesting in how this plays out. So Houston plays Navy at home against Navy. And I think Houston does very well this weekend. I don't think that Navy's going to put up too big of a fight, and I think that Houston goes to 3-1 overall and 1-0 in conference. Week 5, Houston plays at Tulsa. Tulsa has been a pretty up and down team. I think that they're going to have a decent year, but I do not think that they're going to beat Houston. With that said, I have Houston going 4-1 after this game and being 2-0 in conference. The following week, the Houston Cougars play at home against Tulane. I think that the game against Tulane is going to look very similar to last year, except for I think Houston's going to be a little bit better overall throughout the game. These are just my projections. I mean, I'm trying to go based off of last year, but I also know that last year they weren't really themselves, so I'm just not sure. With that said, I have Houston winning this game and going 5-1 overall, 3-0 in conference to start out the year. Then they have a very well-placed bye week in week 7. I think this is going to play into Houston's hands very well, except for the fact that they play in week 8 against the ECU Pirates. It is a home game for Houston, but I think that the Pirates, and I'm pretty sure this is their homecoming as well, but I do believe that the Pirates are going to be strong this year. I think they're going to be one of the stronger American teams this year, and I think that the Pirates come out and they actually win this game. I know, upset alert, upset alert. That's what we're saying a lot against these teams that ECU's playing this year. With that said, it's still going to be a good game. I still think the game's going to be close. I just think that ECU's going to have the offense this year to do it. And this puts Houston at 5-2 overall and 3-1 in conference. Week 9, the Cougars are going to be at home again. This time they play host to SMU. I do believe that the Cougars are going to be a little upset from last week and still have a little bit of that going on this week when they play SMU. And I think SMU capitalizes on that and gets this win. I think SMU actually goes in and gets the win this year. With that said, that actually puts Houston in a kind of a predicament. I mean, they would have lost, at this point, 2 games in conference, and they're only about a little more than halfway through the conference schedule. So this actually puts Houston at 5-3 overall with a 3-2 conference record. The next opponent for the Houston Cougars is going to be the University of South Florida Bulls. This isn't really that big of a question. Not at all. I think that it doesn't matter where the game's played, Houston's going to win. That puts Houston at 6-3 overall and 4-2 in conference. Week 11, they play Temple. Again, I don't think Temple puts up a fight. Another really easy game for the Cougars. Cougars goes 7-3 overall, 5-2 in conference at this point. Houston then plays Memphis, and I think this is going to be the one of the hardest games of the year for Houston. Well, it hurts to say this because I really do like Houston. I really do. But I do not think that they can beat Memphis. Just looking at what we got on paper here. Okay? I just don't. So, because of that, this puts Houston at 7-4 overall, and 5-3 in conference. Okay, this is the end of their conference schedule. So they get 1 week, which is the last week of the season, to kind of, you know, tie a nice bow on the season if they, you know, are qualified for the conference championship. This is like their prep game, because it's really not a hard game at all. And it used to be, up until last year, it would have been a conference game. So you guys know who this season closer is. It's going to be UConn. And Houston's playing at UConn. I'm guessing that they signed a contract for a home and home, maybe. That's the only way that I could see Houston going to UConn without it being a conference game. So with that said, that puts Houston at 8-4 overall and 5-3 in conference. And this is a nice way for Houston to wrap up the year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about my preview for the Houston Cougars. Let me know if you liked it a little bit longer, like the last videos, or if you liked it short, just like this one, for the future video. But this has been Knowledgeable Soul. Make sure you check out one of these videos. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, engage, join the family. All right, out of here.